Yeah, hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So in this session, we have to modify the required files like the Docker file, the build spec file, and the app spec file. So Docker file is not required to change; that is used to create the image. So build spec file is required to change. So because in this build spec file, we have to change the three variable parameter. One is the AWS region, account ID, and the image name. So we are like whatever the step we are performing, we are performing the different zone, that is the us. I think that is us hyphen us2. Let's just let me check and verify. Yeah, so I can see that is a us hyphen us2. So let me modify the region here in the build spec yml file. And the account number, it is same account number, so that is not required to change. So we can keep the same account number. And the repo file is different, so let me modify it. So let me go to the ecr and let me take the repo name. Here I can see it's the blue green, so let me modify the name here inside the build spec file. And basically this build spec file, it is required to authenticate with the ecr, and we have to build the image. And we have to build after once we build the image, we have to push this image to the ecr. So we have updated the required environment variables, and you can see here like whatever the commands is required to push the image. So generally we have added inside the pre-build and the post-build. Like here you can see we are trying to build the image, and we are, and once build the image, we are tagging it, and after that we are, yeah, pushing the image to the ecr. So build spec YML file has been modified. So now we have to change the apps spec.yml file. Generally, we have to change two thing here. One is the task definition, and second is the container name. So this information would be collected from the container, the ECS container. So let me go to the ECS first. Then we have to go to the task definition, and let me go to the task definition. Let me open it, and you can take the json files, and let me copy the whole json file to the notepad. No, not this one. Yeah, this one, the last. Yeah, this is the task definition. Let me copy it, and we have to update inside the app spec yml file. Let me replace this line with this correct task definition. And now we have the container name is required to change. Just let me check and confirm. Yeah, it is, you can see it is the blue green container name, but let me double check and get confirm. Yeah, it seems the name is blue green, but I just need to clarify and double check from the container itself. So let me go to the cluster, and let me go to the service. Let me open it. Yeah, you can see here the container name is showing as a blue green, right? Yeah, so it is the correct one. So let me copy it and let me modify the app spec yml file. Generally what happens this, while doing the deployment, it will check the task definition, and accordingly it can change it. So that is required while doing the deployment. So I changed the required things, and now the last one is pending, that is called the task definition json file. So it is very important. Like you can see this json file is required. So in this json file we just need to copy the, you can see I have already copied the task definition JSON file to the notepad. So here we just need to change one line, that is called image. Yeah, you can see, yeah, image, it would be image URI. Okay, so let me go to my notepad and go to, yeah, you can see the image, the whole URL, URI is defined. So you just need to replace with the image URI. Okay, so in the smaller than and greater than, in between, we have to mention image URI. So let me copy the whole content and we have to replace with the task definition.json file. So let me remove it first. Hmm. So let me make it empty, then I can paste the whole contents here. Okay, so it is blank now, so let me paste that, the new contents of the task definition. Yeah, so it has been modified successfully. Let me save it. So I see the all the required files has been modified. So yeah, server.json file, readme empty, and the package.json file, that is not required to change. So those are not required to change, so let me quit it. And this server.json file, just let me open it so you can see like whatever the things is mentioned. Yeah, so those are like the whatever the UI you are showing on the container. Generally it is update the server contents for the website. So you don't need to change the contents inside the server.json file. Okay, so modified, or we have already updated the required files, so we have to create the code pipeline. So let me go to the code commit. Before the code pipeline, we can see the code commit is already integrated. That is not required to change. That's okay. Okay, so first we have to create the build one. So let me go to the build repository. So let me remove this existing one, that is not required. So let me clean it, and after that we can create the new build repository. Let me create the build project. Let me keep as blue green build. Okay, you have to use the code commit. Then let me go and select the repository, the code commit name, branch would be master. Here you can change to Ubuntu, because whatever the docker file that is compatible for the Ubuntu, so that I have created for the Ubuntu only. So you can select the image, and the also you have to select the environment. And yeah, this privilege is required because we are going to build the docker image, so that option should be, yeah, checked. Okay, otherwise the build would be failed. And you have the existing role we have already created for the build. So let me select the plugin hyphen core build hyphen demo. We have already created that earlier in the first session. So the second session, those are not required to change. Let me, VPC also not required because we don't have any dedicated VPC. And yes, the build spec file, if we have the already build spec file, we have any different file, then you have defined that. Otherwise you can just keep it blank. And now artifact is required, and just let me click on next. Yeah, click on build project. So build project has been created. So now we have to create the code pipeline. Okay, it has been created, and before creating the code pipeline, just let me double check. Yeah, you can see the application, it is already created, because while creating the ACS cluster it got created. Okay, it is not required to create manually. And let me go to the pipeline, then I have to click on getting started. We have to create the new pipeline, and the pipeline name you can define any name. I can keep like the blue green and hyphen pipeline. And service role is not required. You can create the new or existing, but you can create the new one. And click on next, and the source would be code commit, so I have to select the code commit here. And you have to select the repository name of the code commit. The master will be branch name, and here you can keep as it is by default. And let's click on next. No, we have to select the build stage name, so it will be code build. And you have to select the project name, then you have to click on next. And the deploy, we are trying to deploy on the ECS blue green, so you have to select the ECS blue green here. And here you can see the application name is coming automatic, we have to select that. And also code deployment group we have to select. Here it would be select build artifact and the AWS code at. Here you can see here the build task definition JSON file and app spec JSON file YML file is required, so that's why we have updated. Okay, so that is required for the pipeline, so that's why we updated earlier. Let's create the build artifact, and the image URI, the image name would be image URI. Just let me copy that. I copy the image name that is called image URI. So let me paste here, and we have to remove this smaller than and greater than symbol. Let me remove it. Before the creating the pipeline, make sure we have to perform the code commit, because we have already updated the task definition and the required files. So before creating the pipeline, we have to commit it, otherwise it will be failed. Okay, so you have to update it the latest one. So I'm trying to code commit, and we are trying to post the updated files. So let me enter the credential like the AWS code commit username and password. Let me copy that the username, and we have to copy the password. Let me copy that, and we have to enter here. And it has been authenticated, and it is it is post the latest updated files to the code commit. Now we can let me remove that smaller than and the greater than symbol, that is not required. Okay, so let me remove it, and let me click on next. Let me create the pipeline. So the pipeline has been created, and this process to complete the pipeline, it may take some time. Maybe while doing performing this the whole chain or the whole stage, it may be failed. So let's see, let's hope for the best. And you can see the pipeline has been started, the source has been started, and it has been completed all success also. And let's go to the build part. If you go to the build part, there is, you can see details. Let me click on details to see whether it is getting success or getting failed. So if you want to see the whole message, then you have to click on tail logs. So whole logs you can in the real times you can see that like the what's going on inside the build. Current phase, it is pre-built, now it's come to the post build, and it is downloading the image. It created the container, and like you can it is creating the image. Okay, the build phase has been success. Here you can see it has been success. So let's go to the pipeline to see the next stage, that is the deploy stage. So it has been success here. Okay, you can see the build stage has been success. Let me go to the code pipeline, and you can see the after once the build, the latest image has been pushed to the ECR. Yeah, so in the build stage generally it will build the image and it pushed to the ECR. So the latest image has been pushed to the ECR. Okay, so the build section has been completed, so it has been go to the deploy stage. So let me go to the details so you can see what's going on inside the deploy stage. Generally deploy stage, you can see it is the 100% of original and the replacement is 0. Generally it will create the two identical same replica of the two containers. So if you go to the task, you can see if it is creating or not. Yeah, you can see the two replica, two identical container has been created, and also it will be deploy the same thing, like the same application and the same new container. So it will take some time, so it is in the pending status. Yeah, so you can see the new container has been running, it is running now. So just let me go to the task and we can validate whether it is opening the same application or not, so we can just get confirm. Generally in the deployment stage, it create the identical two container. If there is two container, it will create the two container identical. If there is three container, it will create three container identical. So you can see it is the new container which has been created, and also the application is opening perfectly. So it seems looking fine. Okay, so let me and if you see in the load balancer in the target class, in the target group, I told you while creating the new container it would be goes to the second, like the ALB group 2. You can see the new container, like the content has been showing under ALB group 2. Okay, so you can see the new container is working fine. So what we can do, uh, if you go to the load balancer, if you try to open it. So after some time what happens, it will be all the traffic would be route to the new container. If it successfully route to the new container, if you validate, you have to validate it, and if it's working fine perfectly, so in that case you can terminate the old container. Okay, so let's validate it first. So I check, like it's pointing out to the new container and all container are working fine. Okay, so let me go to the build stage again and let me refresh it. I see it has been all the traffic is successfully routed to the new containers, so I can terminate the original task. So what will happens, like whatever the old container is running inside the ECS, it will be removed because we are successfully new containers has been deployed with the updated applications, so you can remove it. Yes, so before removing it, just let me double check whether my application is working fine perfectly or not. What I see, all the applications, all the UI is perfectly opening, and also traffic is routing to the new container successfully. So let me go to the pipeline, and let me terminate the old task, like the old containers. So let me open it, and now here we can terminate the original task. So old, with the old application with the old containers would be removed after some times. So it will take maximum 1 to 2 minutes. So old task or old containers would be removed. Okay, the stage has been completed. So if you want to validate, you can go to the ACS and you can see the container has been removed. Let's go to the clusters and let's go to the clusters. You can see only two tasks is running, other two or the two has been removed. Just let you go to the task and you can see other the old containers has been removed. Okay, so let me change something inside the code, like let me go to the server.json file and let me change something. Let me change the message here like hello from the plugin deployment. Let me change this line, then we can update it and we can commit the code. Let me change to version 112 by the YouTube team. Okay, so let me save it, and once save it, definitely we have to add it and we have to commit the code so that it can be push the code latest files to the code commit. Yeah, I committed the message. Now let me push the image, like the push the code to the our code commit. Let me enter the username and password. Okay, so the latest file has been pushed to the code commit, and you can see immediately it will be start because the new application has been updated in the code commit. So once it's changed, immediately it will be try to change it. Okay, it will try to start it again. Let me refresh this pipeline. Because as soon as it the code commit got the new files, you can see, yeah, you can see it started now, just now. Okay, so as soon as code commit got the new files, it started the pipeline again. And if you go to the build, you can see what's going on in the build stage. Let me go to the build stage. Let me click on tail logs so you can see what's going on inside the build stage. Yeah, it's downloading and it's updating. Yeah, it got failed. It is the bug of the, you can see it is not the error, it is the error, but it's the part of the Docker. Okay, so you don't need to worry about it. It's asking like it is exceeding the limit, so you have to you don't need to worry about it. You just need to retry, then you can see after some time it will be success. Okay, so that issue I have already faced that. So that is the part of the bug. So that is not the, that is not the problem with the pipeline or your like the build. So just retry and let me click on the tail logs and to see what's error. Sometimes it happens like maybe two times or three times you have to try. So don't need to worry about this error or message, because we have not we don't have the for a professional account for the Docker, right? So maybe that's the reason. So exceeding error is coming, so that is not the part of your, yeah, it this time I think it's trying to run and it's trying to download and build the image. Let's see. Yeah, this time we got success. So I did not change anything, just I did a retry, because that is not the part of the, that is not the problem with the code pipeline. Okay, so let me close it. Let me go to the pipeline and let me check the deploy stage, what's happening inside the deploy. Let me go to the pipeline. Let me open it. Let me go to the next stage. Yeah, the first one. Let me go to the details. Yeah, it started successfully. You can see it is trying to create the new container. So let me go to the ECS. So you can see, and you can let's refresh it. You can see here, yeah, it is trying to create the new container, right? So to identical container it is creating, it will take some time. So let's wait. Yeah, it's running now. Let me go to the new container, and to in order to validate we have to copy the public IP, and we can try to open the applications whether it's happening with the new application or the old application. So let me copy this public IP and let me browse it. You can see it is opening with the new deployment and the new code. So it seems it's working fine. Okay, and also you can check with the newly load balancer. Now it is pointing out to the old one. Once traffic routed to the new one, then you can see the page. Now it is pointing out to the old containers. Okay, so it will take some time to route the traffic to the new containers. Let's wait another 2 minutes. Maybe it is taking some time to perform the step 2 or step 3. Okay, in the step 3 you can see it is routing the message, like it is routing the traffic to the new containers. Okay, so let's wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. You can see, and we can validate that also. Yeah, you can see step 2 or step 3 has completed. It means the traffic already routed to the new created container. So let's validate that. Yeah, you can see here, once validate the traffic to the new container, you are able to open the new page, right? The new website is opening fine. Okay, so this is the way to deployment the new application using the code pipeline. And here also you can see, if you want to roll back, or if you want to, if you are not happy with the new deployment, if you want to roll back, you can roll back, so that you can roll back to the old your old applications. So this is the way to roll back also. Okay, so you can roll back if face any difficulties with the new application or new deploy application, you can roll back it. So you can see, I in this session, the whole session, like step by step I told you how to create, all the step, like how to create the code commit, how to create the pipeline, how to build the image, how to push the image. So thank you for watching. So if you have any feedback, please share with me, and if you face any difficulties, please let us know. Definitely we can connect and see, it's very, and also you can share your feedback, and please like my video, and please comment here. And if any difficulties or any message if you want to send out to me, and you can just comment here, so we can connect that. Okay, so thank you so much guys for watching my whole video. So you can see it is very straightforward, and it is very, I have mentioned easily, like how to deployment that. So thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. Thank you, bye bye. So we can meet in the next session for the new topic. So here I terminated the old one, that is also as that is not required. Okay, so that's all for today guys. So thank you so much, thank you again.